Yes, good morning. So, once again, good morning to you all. Myself, Tehmina Masood. So, I'll be taking management control systems for you people. Now, coming towards the subject, what do you mean by management control system? If I'm just trying to split this particular word, management control system, into three, what comes into your mind when we say management? Because basically, management role is to plan, organize, coordinate, and integrate activities so that whatever the organizational goals are achieved, okay, it should be integrate with the activities that is going on in an organization. I'll give you a small example. Like in a college, basically planning involves preparing the academic calendar, right? Then organizing, I mean, which faculty has to be assigned subjects, right? Then coordinating includes like scheduling exams. Integrating means ensuring whether academics, administration, or student activities they are working together in a very smooth manner or not. So to make sure all these activities move in the right direction, organization use management control system. Okay, just to check whether work is happening as per planned and correct deviations are required. For instance, if a student results decline, so what will be the review of the management? Management may review teaching methods, right? Or else management may review evaluation system. What type of evaluation system is being followed? So management control is one of the core function you can say. And this is a separate discipline because here we are dealing with performance management or performance measurement, behavior control, and strategy execution. So this management control system, this will help the managers to understand the performance indicators like your targets, your what do you say, key performance indicators, your budgets, and your reports. So in simple terms, MCS is nothing but it includes all your structures, your process, your systems that helps us to encourage or that helps employees to work towards organizational goals in a very efficient and ethical manner where they will try to minimize risk as well as unwanted outcomes. Okay, so coming towards the first PPT. In this unit, first of all, we are going to discuss about introduction. Then what is the meaning of MCS, its features, need, then functions of MCS, boundaries, organization of management control system, paradigms we are going to see. Then we are going to see about strategic planning, types of management control system, subsystem and components of it. Then what are the key controllable variables, impact of internet on management control system, domain of management control system, and at last we are going to see about the summary. So first coming towards introduction of management control system. As I already told you, management plans, it organizes, integrates and coordinates all the activities to achieve objectives. So this MCS, it plays a vital role in supporting and guiding employee behavior and it measures employee performance. Okay, so in this unit, we are going to discuss about the concepts, the process, the types and components of management control system. Now, next, coming towards what is the meaning, features, and need of management control system. Okay, so basically, the importance of management control system, it has become very evident because nowadays many corporate failures, like if you look into it, Enron is there, WorldCom or Tyco, these are some weak controls, okay, and excessive performance linked incentives led to their financial manipulation. On the other hand, if you are looking into successful companies like Dell or you can say 3M or Walmart, they succeeded not only due to good strategies, but also they designed strong control system that motivated employees to execute strategies effectively. Right? So basically, the MCS is something, a structured process, you can say, that includes input, processing, output. Now, what do you mean by input? Input is nothing but resources. Okay? Your plants. Processing is something, activities, okay, or else the decisions that you're going to take it, okay, and output is nothing but results or performance, you can say. So here it adds measurement, it adds your analysis and reporting to ensure performance is monitored and corrected when required. Okay, like in a small manufacturing company, okay, inputs are nothing but your raw materials, labor, right? Process is something, a kind of work in progress stage, we call it as, that is production. Output is nothing but finished goods. So here, MCS will try to check out the cost, quality, and efficiency at each and every stage. And also, this MCS uses accounting information. Okay, accounting information in the sense your financial accounting and your managerial accounting. So basically, financial accounting focuses on overall results, that is your profits and your costs. Whereas your managerial accounting, it focuses on internal decisions like your budgeting, like your product costing. Okay, now next, coming to features of management control system. Basically, you have got three features of management control system. What are those? The first is your nature of decisions, systematic and rhythmic decisions, strategy, implementation, control. Okay. First, coming towards nature of decisions. Okay. Now, what do you mean by nature of decisions? Nature of decisions, basically, these are based on organizational strategy and available resources. Okay, for example, a hospital that is introducing digital records. So, when they are introducing digital records, they must consider budget, right? They must check it out whether the staff possess skills or not, and also patient needs, because introducing a digital system is somewhat, a person should have that sufficient knowledge in order to move from your traditional towards your digital way, right? So though decisions are taken at top level, implementation takes time, as employees need to be getting trained and adaptation towards technology, right? Second, coming towards your systematic and rhythmic decisions. Okay, basically, these decisions are regular and systematic. They follow some policies and procedures. Example, when I'm reviewing monthly sales, okay, like quarterly or half yearly or annual. So whatever the activities that goes on across all the departments, it has to be uh, moved in a very balanced mode. Okay, like sales target must match your production capacity as well as distribution ability, right? If you don't have sufficient stock in your organization, how you are able to complete your task? At the same time, you should be able to deliver the products to the customers in a very timely manner, right? So these decisions are very important and it has to be taken on regular and systematic way. Coming towards the next, that is strategy implementation tool. This is one of the important tool, you can say, to execute your strategy. Okay, like if a company strategy is cost leadership, basically it will emphasize your cost control. It will have some what do you say, efficiency targets or productivity measures. So the organization structure, the policies of the organization, and culture are all influenced by your management control system. Now next, coming towards need of management control system. Need is something just like weight control helps a person to stay healthy. In a similar way, management control helps an organization to stay effective. For example, if you eat less but exercise wrongly, it may lead not to lose weight, right? If you are eating healthy but you are doing exercise in a very wrong way, you may not be losing weight. Similarly, if employees work hard but without direction, what will happen? Goals may not be achieved, right? So the organization need to provide direction. It has to correct their mistakes in timely manner. It has to improve the performance, and also employees should avoid waste and inefficiency. So an organization without control, it may lead to suffer from confusion, right? Sometimes you may be having failure either in short term or long term, right? So this is what it happens. Now, next, coming towards functions of management control system. Before we move on to functions, if our purpose is not to control people, but to ensure the organization remains in control. So how does this MCS helps us? MCS helps us to clearly communicate our organizational goals. It also ensures employees to know what actions are required. We are also able to share performance results, and also it helps your managers to respond as per the environmental changes, right? For example, if a customer satisfaction falls, what will happen? We try to highlight the issue and also we try to take some corrective measures. Immediately, we'll make ourselves to put into action and we'll try to take some measures. We don't sit quietly, right? So, coming towards the functions of management control system, like how we have functions of management. Basically, what is management? Management is nothing but getting work done through people just to achieve goals. So, what are the functions of management that it includes? It includes your planning, organizing, your staffing, right? Leading, controlling. All these functions of all these are the functions of your management. Like a university vice chancellor is there. What does he try to do? He tries to plans program. He tries to organize departments, appoints faculty. Okay. They try to lead teams and control performance through reviews, right? So management at all levels, what do they try to ensure? They try to ensure whether the employees implement intended strategies or not. So this process we call it as management control process. Now, next, coming towards your control. Control has got four elements. Okay. What are those four elements? The first is your detector or sensor. Second is assessor. Third is effector. And fourth is a communication network. Okay. In simple example, by taking a simple example, I'll try to, make you understand. Control is something like driving a car, right? Accelerator. What does the accelerator will try to do? It will try to increase the speed. Brake at the same time, it will reduce the speed. And what does the steering will try to do? it will try to change the direction, right? So if any of the control fails, what will happen? The car becomes unsafe. So in a similar way, organization also needs control to ensure activities must follow strategy. Like how the first element I told you, it's about detector or sensor. What does the detector will try to do? Detector or the sensor will try to measure actual performance. Okay, actual performance in simple terms, you can say sales report. Okay, wherein we are trying to assess the performance of a particular salesperson. Assessor. Assessor means here we are trying to compare actual performance with standards. Okay, like targets versus actual sales. Okay, effector is nothing but feedback, taking corrective action. Example, uh, training sales staff or revising the incentives of employees, right? Communication network. In this, we are just trying to disperse the information. We are just trying to transfer the information from one person to another person where we are spreading the information. So, how we are able to spread the information? With the help of your emails, with the help of your dashboards, and with the help of your management information system reports. Okay, so these are the four elements of your control. Next, coming towards system. What do you mean by system? System is nothing but it is a set of interconnected parts where they work together and works as a whole. Like example, your HR department, finance, marketing, these are different departments. But ultimately, what is their task? They have to work together for success of the organization, right? So rules, procedures, relationships, all this has to work together to form an integrated system. Next, management control system versus simple control process. Like, unlike a thermostat is there. So in this, what happens? The organization standards are not fixed. They are set through planning. So management control is something where it involves human judgment. It also requires coordination among departments, right? And it is often self control where managers will take responsibility rather than waiting for instruction from the other person. Okay, so here we are just trying to differentiate between management control system and a very simple control process. Okay, where we have taken an example of the thermostat. Next is boundaries of MCS. Okay, so boundaries of MCS consists of your management control activities, confirmation, goal congruence, implementation strategy, financial and non-financial emphasis, aid in developing new strategies, relationship between planning and control functions. Okay. So basically, the management control lies between strategy formulation and task control. Strategy formulation is something which is less structured and it works for a long term. Task control, it goes for a short term and it is highly structured. And management control is something medium term, you can say, and it works in a very balanced mode. Okay, like uh, employee goals. Employee goals should match with organization goals, right? Like incentives linked to both sales as well as customer satisfaction. Confirmation. Confirmation is flexibility. Okay. So here the NCS should allow changes if condition change. That is example, revising budgets during economic downturns. That means we are just moving from one mode to another mode based on some situational changes based on some environmental changes that takes place. Okay. When I'm speaking about financial and non-financial measures, your profit quality, customer satisfaction, okay, employee morale, these things are taken into consideration. Okay. When I'm speaking about planning and control relationship, strategy that dominates your planning, task, what factor is dominated over here? Control is dominated. So MCS, both are equally important. Okay. I'll just try to put one, what do you say, a real time example. You know about this Tata Group, right? Basically, the Tata Group is well known for its strong ethical management controls, because here the company will try to clearly communicate organizational values like accountability, integrity, social responsibility. So here, employee performance is evaluated not only on financial results, but also ethical conduct is being followed. Okay. And also social impact, right? So Tata's company links employee rewards with safety standards, quality targets, as well as sustainability goals. So here we are just trying to ensure goal congruence where every individual employee, whatever the action they do, that must align with organizational values as well as long-term objectives. Similarly, Infosys. What does the Infosys do? Infosys uses a very, what do you say, a kind of a robust management information system just to monitor project performance or cost control or employee productivity. So here the managers, they regularly receive dashboards showing project timelines, client satisfaction scores, as well as revenue performance. So if a software project is exceeding its budget or a deadline, so the manager will try to intervene early by reallocating resources or they will revise their workflows. So here, what we can understand, this shows how detectors is nothing but reports. Assesses, already we have seen the target comparison and effectors, that is corrective actions. They all work in practice. Okay. Now, next coming towards organization of management control system. Okay, we have different types of control systems such as your organizational structure, human resource management, organization culture, organizational climate, interactive controls. In a simple way, I'll just make you to understand. As we have seen, MCS, it will try to operate in different organizational mechanisms. So these mechanisms must ensure that employees' actions are aligned with organization goals and strategies. When we are speaking about organizational structure, this is something that defines who reports to whom. Okay, who reports to who is responsible for what, and how decisions are made. That means it will try to create clarity in roles, authority, and accountability. Like Infosys, it follows a clear hierarchical and project-based structure where employees will try to report to project managers who report to again delivery heads and their senior leadership. So here the structure ensures clear responsibility for every project outcomes, and also there is a kind of effective coordination between departments and also smooth decision making processes being followed, right? So without a proper structure, there will be a kind of confusion or duplication of work or sometimes poor control may arise. Coming towards next, human resource management. Basically, human resource management, it tries to focus on selecting, training, evaluating, rewarding employees and motivating so that they possess the skill that is needed to implement your organization strategies. Just as we have seen, like TCS, it tries to invest heavily in training and performance appraisal system. So here, employees are evaluated based on their skills, their performance, their learning outcomes, and also some kind of promotional and rewards are aligned with organization goals. So here, what does this activity is trying to do? This activity is trying to ensure that the right people with the right skills are in the right roles that will support effective management control. Organization culture. What does the culture refers to basically? Our beliefs, our values, and norms that will guide each individual's behavior, that will guide employees' behavior. So here it tells employees what is acceptable and what is not, even without written rules. We have to, understand by looking at somebody. Okay, like the Tata Group is basically known for its strong ethical culture, its integrity, transparency, and social responsibility. These are something deeply embedded values in the startup world. So employees understand that unethical behavior will not be tolerated, even if it is bringing short-term profits. So a strong culture acts as an invisible control mechanism which will guide behavior without constant supervision. Next, organizational climate. Organizational climate refers to the work environment that how employees will perceive the organization in terms of innovation, recognition, leadership, and employee well-being. Like if you observe companies like this Wipro or Infosys, they will try to promote a positive organizational climate by encouraging learning and innovation, recognizing employee achievements, supporting work-life balance. So, positive climate, it tries to improve productivity, employee retention, customer satisfaction, and profitability. And the last is interactive control. Interactive control will try to help top management actively engage with strategic uncertainties. These controls, it will focus the management attention on emerging issues that may require strategy revision or innovation. Okay, like strategy revision or innovation, that is strategy planning or formulation, where we are trying to determine what to do, for whom to do it, and how to excel. So it involves analyzing the environment using some tools like your SWOT analysis, PEST, and STEEP, right? Like if I'm just taking an example, uh, there's a Reliance company, Reliance Industries. They continuously revises its strategy based on market conditions. So the launch of Reliance Geo, it involved strategic planning and also massive investment decisions and continuous monitoring of customer response. So this shows that strategic planning is dynamic and also it is closely linked with management control, right? And also the task control. This will try to ensure the day-to-day operations that are carried out efficiently and according to some set of rules and regulation. That is standard rules and regulation, you can say, which is often automated and taking on, taking decisions on timely basis. That is, it is the routine in nature. Okay, even this Maruti Suzuki is there. What does it uses? It uses the automated assembly lines and quality control system. So the machines, the robots that performs a repetitive tasks and defects are immediately detected and corrected. So the task control ensures efficiency, consistency, and cost reduction in routine operations. Now, next coming towards paradigms of control. In this, you have six paradigms, that is first, second, third, fourth, then single and dual approach, new paradigm of dual focus and controls. So, paradigm of control, this will tells us how organization design its control system to deal with changing environment, people's behavior, and coordination across levels. So, control is not just about authority. It is how we are adapting to it, how we are cooperating, how it is aligned with organizational rules. Okay, so coming towards the first paradigm. What does the first paradigm tells us? First paradigm tells us about adaptability to environment. Okay, that is a good control system will try to help an organization adapt internal as well as external changes, such as your competition, technology, government policies, and customer preferences. So this focus is not a rigid authority, but flexibility and learning. Like if I'm taking an example of this, what do you say, Zomato. Zomato continuously it will try to adapt its control system based on customer demand, based on delivery efficiency as well as competitions. Like during this pandemic situation, Zomato shifted to even grocery delivery, and also they have moved from contact delivery to contactless delivery models, right? During this pandemic, they have introduced contactless delivery methods along with grocery delivery. So here, control is not about strict rules, but how you are trying to enable the fast adaptation as per the changes in the environment that takes place, right? Coming towards the second paradigm. Second paradigm is about integration across the organization. Okay, so here the control must exist at all levels of the organization. Board level. Board level is something, a kind of, strategic decisions are being taken. That is strategic control. Senior management is management control. Supervisors, operational control. The people who are at root level, that is grassroots level, we call it as, they have a control of task. That means all levels are interdependent, and whatever the failure at any level, it will weaken the entire control system, right? Like if I'm taking an example of your uh, this Indian Railways, okay, board level. At board level, I mean, what is being taken into consideration? It's policies, safety standards, right? At senior management level, budgeting and resource allocation. Supervisors, they will try to train scheduling and maintenance. They will look for train scheduling and maintenance. Ground staff, they are involved in ticketing and operations. So integration at all levels. They will try to ensure smooth functioning across all departments. Third paradigm is about balance between control and self-control. Okay, so basically, this particular paradigm it tries to focus on design system that control dishonest behavior while also encouraging self-discipline among sincere employees. So here I'm just trying to segregate a traditional approach and modern approach. Like in traditional approach, you have got previously we had a very strict supervision. Whereas in modern approach, we cannot go with strict supervision because our perceptions are changed, right? And we don't require someone, who is controlling us. So here in modern approach, trust and accountability is being taken into consideration. Okay, like how in emphasis they try to use audit and compliance system for control system. But at the same time, it also encourages self-control through ethical guidelines and professional autonomy. So not all employees need tight control. Many regulate themselves. Okay. Coming towards a fourth paradigm. Fourth paradigm tells us about strong cooperative instincts. Okay. Employees naturally would like to perform well, innovate, as well as contribute. So, control system should remove some barriers that discourage employees' cooperation and creativity. Okay, like how in Tata Motors, they encourage teamwork. They also encourage innovation and also problem solving through collaborative platforms and suggestion schemes. So, too much control, what will happen if you are trying to control somebody? It can kill innovation. The right control supports cooperation. Okay. Next, single and dual approach to control. Single focus is something that is imposed to prevent wrongdoing. Dual focus approach, it combines external control with self control. So healthy organization basically they rely on distributed control rather than going for centralized authority. I mean, it's like immune system that acts automatically without waiting for somebody's instructions. So employees in a healthy organization they act responsibly without constant supervision, right? So here we are just trying to combine performance targets with strong organizational values, encouraging both self-discipline and also self-control. Next is last paradigm, that is new paradigm of dual focus. This was introduced by Robert Simons, where it has got four control systems. What are those four control systems? The first is your diagnostic system. Second is your boundary system. Third, belief system. Fourth is interactive system. Diagnostic system is something where we try to monitor the performance. Example, sales target in ICC. Boundary system is something that define what is not allowed in organization. Like each and every organization will have its code of conduct. Belief system is something where it works on shared values and ethics, like leadership with trust that is being followed at Tata. Interactive is something where continuous dialogue goes on across all levels. Okay, that means feedback system, continuously feedback system, town halls at top MNCs companies, you can say. So both traditional as well as modern paradigm exist in organization. Next, coming towards strategic planning. What do you mean by strategic planning? Management control system are tools to implement strategies. These strategies differ between organization and controls should be tailored to the requirements of specific strategies. Different strategies require different task priorities, different success factors, and different skills, perspectives, and behavior. And we have two, that is strategic planning and strategic formulation. Basically, in this strategic planning, the management control system will try to help implement strategies, that is, not create them. Since strategies differ from each and every organization, ultimately, control systems also differ. Okay. When I'm speaking about strategic planning at top management, okay, what is its management control? Middle management, task control, lower, right? When I'm speaking about timely, strategic planning is something long term, management control, medium term, again, task control, short term, right? So, strategic planning is basically done by top management and also it focuses on the future direction of the organization. Like just how I told you, this Reliance long term strategy, it includes digital transformation of Geo, right? To Geo, retail expansion, as well as we have renewable energy investments. So the strategic planning, it decides where the organization wants to go. Now, what is strategic formulation? Strategic formulation involves deciding. Deciding what? Goals and its objectives. Goals means aiming, broad aim, you can say. That is market leadership. Objective is something it should be very specific and it should align with time, that is time bound targets. Example, I want to achieve 20% market share in 3 years. This is my objective. So here I'm just trying to formulate my objective. In the next 3 years, I want to have 20% of market share of so and so company. Okay. Like this Patanjali. What was the goal of Patanjali? In a very short time, it became a leading of FMCG brand. Coming to when I'm speaking about objective, it has expanded its product range and also increased rural penetration. So the management control should ensure these strategies are executed in a properly and efficient manner. Okay. So the paradigms, whatever that we have discussed, this will ensure the organization to balance its authority, the coordination, the adaptability, the self-control, while the strategic planning, it defines your long-term direction and management control ensures effective execution. Next is types of management control system. Basically, you have two types of management control system, that is formal control system, informal control system. Under formal control system, input controls, process controls, and output controls. Under informal control system, you have self-control, social control, and cultural control. First, speaking about formal control system. Basically, formal control systems are written and officially designed by management. Example, the rules and regulations, the targets, the budgets, the policies. Informal controls are something, these are unwritten, and it is basically behavior oriented, I can say, behavior based, that arise naturally among employees. For example, the work culture. We don't, I mean, the work culture is not clearly written. Looking at someone, we try to adapt to it. Group norms, you can say, or the peer pressures. Okay. So the formal controls are created by managers, while informal control evolved from organization control and social values. Under this formal control system, we have input control. Input control are basically applied before the work begins. I mean, its purpose is to ensure that the right resources and right people are used for a particular task. Like this TCS, it uses a strict recruitment test, interviews, training programs, just to ensure employees have the required technical and professional skills before a project is being allocated to them, right? Process control. Process control will try to monitor ongoing activities and take corrective action before the final output is produced. That means here we are trying to focus on how the work is done. We are not just looking into the results. Okay? Like how this Maruti Suzuki is there. It uses its real time quality checks during production. So if defects are detected, the assembly line is stopped immediately just to correct the issue. Okay, so here the process control prevents errors rather than correcting them later. At the very start itself, when we came to know that there are some defects, immediately we'll just try to stop its production or we'll just try to stop the assembly line just to correct that particular issue. Next is output control. Output control focus basically um, it focus on end results. So performance standards are set, actual results are measured, and here deviations are corrected. Okay, so If I'm speaking about ICICI Bank, all the branch managers are being evaluated based on loan recovery rates, based on profitability targets, and also on customer acquisition. So the output control has to be very effective. If it is effective, then the results are very easy to measure. Okay, coming towards informal control system. As I told you, informal control systems are unwritten. These are something that guide the behavior through values, relationship, and shared belief. That is employee driven mechanism, you can say. Okay. In this, you have three controls. First is self control, second is social control, and the third is cultural control. Self control basically occurs when employees set their personal goals. They monitor their own performance and they correct themselves without supervision. Like how in Infosys, software professionals they manage deadlines, quality, and also learn on their own. That drives their professionalism as well as career goals. And also, sometimes the self control works best when individual goals align with organization goals. Social controls. Basically, this particular thing arises from what do you say? Shared norms, okay, shared expectation, union groups, or peer pressures within teams. Okay, here the employees will follow speed and accuracy norms because team performance affects everyone. If you have poor performance, what will happen? It will be discouraged by your peer expectations. So the employee should conform to the standard to maintain acceptance within the group. Cultural controls. Cultural controls is basically based on our beliefs, shared values, rituals, and what is some kind of stories that guide behavior across the organization. Like how the startup culture, they emphasize on ethics, trust, and social responsibility. So employee will act ethically even without strict supervision. Okay. Next, coming towards subsystem and components of MCS. So the subsystem and components of MCS, it has been discussed in two, that is formal and informal. Formal process has two dimensions: formal planning process, formal reporting process. First, we speak about this formal control system. Just now we have discussed formal is something which is, written or structured and it is management driven. So it has two major dimensions: formal planning, okay, and the next is formal reporting. Formal planning is something, it focuses on what should be done and how resources can be allocated. Okay, how it should be done means a kind of strategic planning is required, a kind of long term, where we try to focus on long term goals as well as direction. And it usually covers uh, 3 to 5 years and basically deals with new projects, expansion, and diversification. Okay, then coming towards formal reporting process. Formal reporting basically it will try to help your management to review performance and take corrective action. So here, whatever the results are achieved, it can be achieved on monthly basis, quarterly basis, or annual basis. Okay, so here we are just trying to compare with planned versus actual performance. Okay, like how basically this SBI, they prepare regular performance reports on branch profitability uh, at the NPA levels and loan recovery. So these reports will try to guide decisions on policy changes and future planning. Next, coming towards informal control process. Informal control process are unwritten, people driven, and behavior based, as we have seen just now, where they try to emerge through experience, interaction, and organization culture. So, what are the key features of your informal control process? Basically, it is based on trust and relationship, you can say, or it is totally flexible and it has to be adaptive and it tries to develop new goals and ideas. Okay, like how there are some mechanisms of this informal control system wherein we can say ad hoc teams are there. Ad hoc teams are something, these are temporary teams. Just these teams are formed to solve specific problems. Okay, like an example of Infosys is there, where cross functional teams are formed to handle specific client issues or improve delivery efficiency. Okay, and also informal rewards and recognition. This is being given in terms of respect, reputation, peer appreciation. Okay, so informal systems are something which are less restricted, which are more flexible, and also this will try to strengthen organizational values. Next is key controllable variables. Key controllable variables evaluate the various departments and it can be illustrated as research and development, purchase department, maintenance department, training department. Not all departments can be evaluated using profit measure. For example, HR department is there. We cannot measure HR department in terms of profit measure. Similar to that, training is there, R&D is there, public relations. So these departments, it involves discretionary expenditures, you can say, where output is difficult to quantify and input output relationship is very unclear here. So key controllable variables are used in this particular scenario. So the first variable is your research and development. Okay, research and development, for example, your Tata Motors is there. In Tata Motors, as we have seen, innovations is being taken to consider. That is number of innovations. How much time is taken to convert your idea into product, and what is the cost of R&D versus with industry standards, right? Next, your purchase department. What is your vendor relationship when you are going with innovation process? Avoiding stockouts, cost effective procurement, alternate suppliers. Maintenance department. Maintenance department, I mean, you should have minimum machine downtime and also preventive maintenance schedules has to be performed at different time intervals. Next is training department. When we are trying to make innovations, identifying correct training needs, right? Cost effective learning program should be introduced and also some skill enhancement outcomes should be achieved. Now, what are the key factors that affect the key success variables? The first is your industry characteristics, competitive strategy, environmental forces, significant problems, and functional issues. So, coming towards industry characteristics. Last time, I mean, we have seen just a couple of days before this Indigo Airlines. Indigo Airlines has got high fixed costs. At the same time, occupancy rate is critical over there. When I'm speaking about competitive strategy, you know this Porter strategy, where it is focused on cost leadership and differentiation. That is, I'm just trying to differentiate between Apple product and Xiaomi in India. Environmental forces, your chemical industries, your ONGC, right? Wherein Pollution control is being focused, sustainability compliance, significant problems, the banking industry, where on regular basis, credit risk assessment is being evaluated, NPA management, right? Even your this thing, what do you say? Film industry also you can say, wherein they have to move as per changing public taste. And the last is your functional issue. Functional issue with respect to your banks, you can say, or finance, where interest rates, production, quality standards. Okay. Next is impact of the internet on management control. The internet provides major benefits in the following ways. How? First is instant access use, multi targeted communication, costless communication, ability to display images, shifting power control and shifting power and control to the individual. So the internet has transformed its management control by speeding up information processing as well as decision making. So what are the major benefits? Instant access, that is Amazon, real time sales and inventory data. Multi targeted communicate, that means one message reaches millions. The best example is in government portals. Low cost communication, your online customer support instead of call centers. Display of images, Flipkart, Amazon, where customers view products before they purchase. Shift of power to consumers based on timing, based on choice, based on the information that is provided on websites. Okay, so here the internet will try to improve information processing, but at the same time, the managerial judgment is also essential. So, control decisions are totally behavioral, it's not mechanical in nature. Next is your domain of management control system. Domain of management control system here it focuses on strategic planning, management control, and task control. Okay, that means they believe management control focuses on strategy implementation, not innovation. So, here, in short, I'll try to explain you management control domain basically it varies by perspective, but it remains central to managerial effectiveness. Okay, so basically, the expert holds different views on the domain of management control system. Anthony and Govind Rajan consider strategic planning, management control, and task control as interrelated but distinct process, viewing MCS as a primarily tool for influencing managers to implement organizational strategies. In contrast, William Newman regards control as a fundamental management function that is integral to planning, organizing, and leading, and sees it as an essential part of all managerial activities. Coming towards a summary of your first unit. So, management control system is a continuous process. It is an integrated system where we are trying to include formal as well as informal controls. And also, leaders play a crucial role in this. Control system, it includes your sensors, your assessors, effectors, and communication network. And here, the control is not automatic. So, effective control requires understanding the behavior, culture, and context of the organization. So, with this, I'll just try to wind up my today's session. We'll try to continue our second unit in my next session. Thank you all. Thank you once again. Have a good day.